Hi, Acadiana. I'm meteorologist Dave Baker. Happy Wednesday to you. Another warm and humid morning. Definitely not feeling like November across Acadiana. And some of you have been dealing with some showers and thunderstorms, even with some heavy downpours out there too. But that is probably going to be relaxing a little bit later on today. Remember though, storm season never ends, as we learned yesterday. And I've said all summer long, to protect the stuff that matters. Ritter Consulting Engineers uses Matterport 3D imaging to scan your home or business, which can be used for insurance purposes before and after the storm. They're also revolutionizing real estate so buyers can tour homes right from their computer. Call Ritter Consulting Engineers at 984-8498 or visit their website. Check it out here in Lafayette. We are seeing some sunshine, a few clouds mixing in as well, but out to the west, we are seeing a bit more rain, and that is going to cause some travel issues, especially if you live out toward Calcasieu, Allen, Jeff Davis, and getting up into Evangeline and Rapides and Vernon parishes and Beauregard as well. So keep that in mind for your travels, but at least locally here in Lafayette and points eastward, for the most part, we're looking at dry conditions, but it is very sticky out here, and it's going to be staying that way for most of the day and really for the rest of the week. For the kids heading back to school this morning, temperatures will be hovering in the 70s. Again, some areas will be experiencing some scattered showers, and then later this afternoon, I think a lot less rain. The temperatures will be running in the low to mid 80s. Check it out. Very steamy out there, especially east of the front. West of the front, it's gotten a little drier, but the front has hit the brakes and it's going to start to retreat back to the northwest. But we've still got some rains along that front, some heavy downpours there, at least off for the western sections. But that is going to be lifting northward, and eventually the front itself will start to push back away from Acadiana. So the chances for rain will start to diminish. But there's another system that will be developing out in the west, and that'll give us another chance for rain as we head into the weekend. Of course, sticking out like a sore thumb is Hurricane Rafael, which is now a Category 2 hurricane. And that trough that's out in the west is going to be getting cut off. So there's not going to be a lot of steering currents over the Gulf of Mexico for Rafael to work with. And we'll talk about that and how that's going to affect the tracking forecast and the timing forecast as well. But our initial front is going to go ahead and lift back to the north as a warm front as low pressure spins out in the desert southwest. Once that low starts to eject a little bit later on this week and this weekend, it should bring a better chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms. But for today, the thunderstorms are more likely during the morning and then kind of tapering off later this afternoon. Low out in the west is going to bring some winter-like weather, believe it or not, for parts of the desert southwest. It will eventually start to lift out toward the north, but it's going to take a couple of days. And yesterday we had that level 1 of severe weather, and we actually got some tornadoes out there with some damage. Today we're less than that with a general thunderstorm risk across Acadiana, but some of those could produce some gusty winds and maybe some heavy downpours as well. And where the rains are going to be occurring, I think temperatures will probably stay in the upper 70s, but for most of Acadiana, I think we're going to crack the 80-degree mark, maybe even hit the mid 80s. Especially from Lafayette eastward. In the offshore waters, things relaxing a little bit more, but the sea's still running about 2 to 4 feet with those winds out of the south at 15 to 20 knots. And we've got partly to mostly cloudy skies across a large part of the Gulf of Mexico. But remember, if you're going to try to do some boating today, winds and seas will be higher around those scattered thunderstorms. Let's focus on the tropical weather now, as Rafael is now a Category 2 hurricane with winds at 100 miles per hour. The National Hurricane Center saying it could be close to Cat 3 as it approaches the western tip of Cuba. And as it moves across Cuba and eventually into the Gulf of Mexico, we think it's still going to emerge as a hurricane, but farther down the road, it'll probably stay a hurricane for a few days well to the south of us, but then it's going to really run into some hostile type of environment there over the central and northern part of the Gulf of Mexico. And remember what I said about those steering currents. So now we're holding this system, at least the National Hurricane Center is holding this system in the offshore waters, even going into the early part of next week. So right now, it doesn't look like it's going to be much of a threat to Acadiana, but those track models are kind of all over the place once you get beyond day 4 and 5. But the initial models on the intensity are still calling for Cat 2, maybe up to about Cat 3 there for a while, but then some weakening after day 3, and that has nothing to do with land. It's going to be colder water and wind shear as it starts to stall over the middle part of the Gulf of Mexico. Still got another area that we're watching east of that. I wouldn't be surprised to see a tropical storm Sebastian coming up in the next week or so. We're going to do 2 Let's Talk Tropics again today. I still have championship meets going on through the middle part of the day, so you'll get a Let's Talk Tropics a little after 9 this morning, and another one after the 3 o'clock advisory later this afternoon. So you get a bit of a bonus on Let's Talk Tropics, but there will not be a live show at noon today nor tomorrow, but we'll start to get back to normal on Friday. There's a look at the rest of your forecast. We're looking at those scattered thunderstorms early on, but things will calm down this afternoon. Thursday, just kind of warm and humid with a mix of sun and clouds, with highs remaining in the mid-80s. Remember, that front's not going to make any headway. It's retreating back to the west, so we're going to stay with the warmer air mass. Again, not feeling like November at all. Temperatures around 84 degrees on Friday with a few scattered thunderstorms coming in, and as that trough starts to make a move over the weekend, I think we'll see some additional rain chances, but not with what's with Rafael. I think this is going to be more of a trough, but we may see at least some gusty winds and some rough seas in the offshore waters thanks to Rafael as we get toward the latter part of the weekend and the early part of next week. Well, I hope you enjoy Acadiana weather today. If you do, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and also turn on those notifications. Also, don't forget you can hear my forecasts every day on Big 102.1, Planet Radio 106.7, and Freedom 95.1. And in between all of those broadcasts, you can follow my social media pages both on Facebook and X for any updates that are needed. I hope you have a great day. I'm meteorologist Dave Baker. I'll see you on Thursday.